أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا وبه نستعين وما توفيقي إلا بالله عليه توكلت إليه أريد. أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. All thanks and glories are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who permitted us and gave us the opportunity to witness another day in this masjid of Federal University of Technology, Mina, to witness the Tafsir of the glorious Quran. Today being the 3rd of Ramadan, 1446 years after the Hijrah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, which is also equivalent to the 3rd of March, 2025. We are taking lessons from Surah Al-An'am. That is chapter 6 of the glorious Quran. We stopped last at verse 148. And today, inshallah, we'll start from verse 149. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل فلله الحجة البالغة فلو شاء لهداكم أجمعين. قل هلم شهداءكم الذين يشهدون أن الله حرم هذا فإن شهدوا فلا تشهد معهم ولا تتبع أهواء الذين كذبوا بآياتنا والذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة وهم بربهم يعدلون.
Allah Ta'ala says, قُلْ فَلِلَّهِ الْحُجَّةُ الْبَالِغَةُ. Earlier before this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed us about the excuses that the disbelievers were given and some unnecessary sort of reasons that are not acceptable. And what are those reasons? After Allah declaring that what they used to declare as lawful or unlawful are not based on evidences or proofs. And if indeed they have those evidences and proof, they should present them. They couldn't, but at the end, what they were now saying is that if Allah had so willed, they would have been believers. It's because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have so willed, according to them, that they were associating partners to Allah and even their parents. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala disputed this particular statement from them. They were talking without any reason. They are just trying to find escape, to escape from what they are supposed to do. Allah said, "Qul, say to them, O Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَلِلَّهِ الْحُجَّةُ الْبَالِغَةُ." A powerful proof and evidence belongs to Allah. Allah give an evidence or proof that cannot be contested. And remember, I said earlier, anything that is based on evidence, based on knowledge, based on truth, that will stand the test of time. But anything that is based on ignorance or is not based on truth or knowledge, that can never stand the test of time. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's evidence and proof are very clear regarding the permissible, the lawful and the unlawful, regarding the beneficial and the harmful. It's just like the issue of inviting you to appreciate that Allah alone deserves to be worshipped. Evidences are all around you that none deserve to be worshipped other than Allah. In fact, even in you, Allah Ta'ala says, وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. If you want to know Allah, can't you look at yourself? Look at yourself, reflect over your creation enough. It's enough for you to appreciate and understand that there is a power behind your creation. And also look around you. إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. Look at the heavens and the earth. Look at all the creation around you. These are enough to show you evidence that Allah Ta'ala did exist. And not only Allah exists, He alone deserves to be worshipped and served, and none other than Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. The evidences are all around. Unless if arrogantly you will dispute or refuse to accept the truth. It's just like the other evidences that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed, which we studied a few days ago, regarding varieties in the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see the same surface of the earth, the same land, the same water that is falling, the same sunlight, but then the trees you plant will come up with different tastes, different colors, different this, different that. Varieties in human creation, varieties in other animals, varieties in plants, varieties in other inanimate things, varieties even in the planets. All these varieties are to tell you that there is a wisdom behind creation, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So say to them, قُلْ فَلِلَّهِ الْحُجَّةُ الْبَالِغَةُ. To Allah belongs powerful and uncontestable evidence and proof. فَلَوْ شَاءَ لَهَدَاكُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. If He has so will, He will have guided you all. But there's a reason behind leaving you with your intellect and leaving you with revelation and sending messengers to you and then giving you the option to do what you want to do. And at the end, you come and get the reward of good or the punishment of evil you have committed. Indeed, if Allah has so will, He will have guided all of you. But it is by the decree of Allah Ta'ala that He has decided to make it this way. But qul, say to them, O Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, halumma shuhada'akum alladhina yashhaduna anna Allah harrama hadha. Bring forth, go and invite your witnesses regarding what you are claiming, regarding what you are saying, prohibiting certain things, declaring certain things as lawful and others as unlawful, giving excuses, saying this and that. Bring your witnesses that will stand to testify that Allah Ta'ala have declared what you have declared as haram. فَإِنْ شَهِدُوا. If now they boldly came and said, yes, these are the witnesses, meaning Rasul challenged them to bring the witnesses. But if out of arrogance, or they boldly said that these are those that serve as witnesses, you know it is lie. أي فَإِنْ شَهِدُوا كَذِبًا فَلَا تَشْهَدْ مَعَهُمْ. Never shall you be a witness and a party with them. And that is what the truth should always portray in the community and society. Never should the truth partake in falsehood. Never should you be a party to them and part of them in false witnesses. وَلَا تَتَّبِعْ أَهْوَاءَ الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا. And never should you follow the desires. Never should you follow the selfish interests of those that كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا, those that denied our signs, those that refuse to submit themselves to their Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those that decide to follow their whims and caprices, those that decide to follow things that are not correct or wrong out of arrogance. Never shall you be a party with them. وَالَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ. Those that never believe that there is something called al-akhirah. All they are after is this dunya. They never believe that after death there is going to be resurrection. After resurrection there is going to be reward and punishment. They are only after this dunya. And that is why if you happen to be together with people that are so much enslaved to materialism as well, there is a tendency that you will be misguided or misled. Because their thinking is dunya. They struggle for dunya, they fight for dunya, they invest for dunya, everything dunya. That's all they know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us about this thing. أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ. They are the people يعرفون ظاهرا من الحياة الدنيا وهم عن الآخرة هم غافلون. All they know is this dunya. Everything is around this dunya. But about akhirah, they don't even care. They don't want to hear anything about that. These people, Allah said, أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ. They are just like these domestic animals we have mentioned, like the cattle, like other livestock, like other animals, كَالْأَنْعَامِ. Why? Because they refuse to appreciate the meaning of existence. The meaning of existence, that it goes beyond the immediate. It goes beyond this dunya. By the time you limit yourself to this dunya, then what differentiates you from other animals? They eat, you eat. They drink, you drink. They defecate, you defecate. They sort of breathe in and out, you breathe in and out. You want enjoyment, they want enjoyment. I mean, if you rely on those things that are called characteristics of living things, then all living things have what you have. What makes you different from them? What makes you different from animals is that you think beyond the dunya. You think beyond the immediate. And that is why when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was declaring Al-Quran as the book of guidance, He said, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. They believe in what is beyond this dunya. That's al-ghayb. What is beyond this dunya? By the time you are belief, you are thought, you are thinking, your investment is all about this dunya, then you hardly pick guidance from Quran. But by the time you think beyond the dunya, that there is another thing waiting for you after this dunya, then you'll be able to now pick guidance from the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if inviting people to do something good, he will say, Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir, falyaf'al kadha wa kadha wa kadha. If truly you believe in Allah, and you believe that there is life after dunya, then do this and this and this and that. Because if you are doing something for life after dunya, you wouldn't mind all the challenges in this dunya, whether people appreciate or not, whether what you are doing is known by others, whatever, because your concern is akhirah. But if your concern is dunya, you do good for people. The same people you do good for, if you die, they will dump you in the grave and come back and continue with their normal businesses. The best they can do for you, probably, maybe they name a street after you, or they build a very big hall and name the hall after you, or they name certain structures after you. Of what benefit will that be to you in the grave? Nothing. But if you do it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then even after death, you have that conviction that what you have done good will follow you in the grave. So you'll not be carried away by what people are doing. So Allah ta'ala said, أَوَلَا تَتَّبِعْ أَهْوَاءَ الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا. Those that denied our signs, you shouldn't follow them. وَالَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ. Those that have no belief in akhirah, وَهُمْ بِرَبِّهِمْ يَعْدِلُونَ. These are the people that associate partner with Allah instead of worshipping Allah alone. May Allah assist us. Allah Ta'ala said, قُلْ يَا مُحَمَّدْ صلى الله عليه وسلم. Now,
قل تعالوا أتل ما حرم ربكم عليكم ألا تشركوا به شيئا وبالوالدين إحسانا ولا تقتلوا أولادكم من إملاق نحن نرزقكم وإياهم ولا تقربوا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن ولا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تعقلون.
you see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has the power and the sole authority to declare certain things as lawful and other things as unlawful, is the only one that you should submit yourself to. It is what Allah confirmed that is lawful, that is lawful. What Allah declared as haram is haram. It is not on the human being to declare certain things as haram or certain things as halal. It has to be based on the approval or declaration of Allah, the creator and owner of existence. So the Sharia of Islam, being a comprehensive way of life, being a comprehensive system, has three major key areas that the Muslim's life revolves around. Those areas are obligations, prohibitions, and permissibles. Obligations, prohibitions, and permissibles. The life of a Muslim revolves around this, and it makes a Muslim to be a submissive servant to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by the time one is guided by this. So all those things declared as unlawful or declared as lawful or this, by people that are declaring that for their self-interest or for personal benefit or gain, as the disbelievers used to do. Their leaders will declare this is prohibited, this is not correct, this is this. At the end, the benefits come back to them. If people are to declare law, to go and come out with a law, they will push their interests. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no interest other than He should be worshipped. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ مَا أُرِيدُ مِنْهُمْ مِنْ رِزْقٍ وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ يُطْعِمُونَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الرَّزَّاقُ ذُو الْقُوَّةِ الْمَتِينُ. Allah ta'ala created human beings and sent them to the surface of the earth for them to worship and serve Him. And He now said, He need nothing from anybody. مَا أُرِيدُ مِنْهُمْ مِنْ رِزْقٍ وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ يُطْعِمُونَ. I need no provision from them, nor do I need for them to feed me. But all other created beings, they need a provision. They need something to support them other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah ta'ala is the one that provides. So if He give law or decree or instruction, it is not for His own benefit because He has nothing to benefit from you. In fact, a hadith was reported that if the whole dunya, the jinn and the mankind, the beginning and the end, everybody should become a righteous servant, that will not add anything in the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the same way, if everybody will become a sort of, will rebel and become the most, all the hearts of people will become the hearts of the most corrupt person on the surface of the earth, that will not decrease anything in the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we can understand this if we see the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the wonders in the creation of Allah. How many living things do we have in this dunya? If you can count them. Can you count the living things in this dunya? The human beings are just a significant portion of the living thing on the surface of the earth. Even termites and ants, their number could be more than human beings, the entire human beings. Not to talk of other created beings on the surface of the earth, under the sea, up there in the sky, and so many other things. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ. All these things are glorifying Allah. All are glorifying Allah. So who are you? What is your glorification of Allah if it is to be counted and measured with what others are doing to Allah? And not only this, the angels that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created that nobody knew their number, they are there worshiping Allah with non-stop. لَا يَأْسُونَ اللَّهَ مَا أَمَرَهُمْ وَيَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ. They worship Allah non-stop. All the planets, all the creation you can think of obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without disobedience. And even look at this dunya. Look at this, just the earth, this dunya itself. If you look at dunya, the earth we are talking about is one among how many planets? Just take that dunya and compare it with other planets and see the size of this, our dunya, immediate one, this earth. And then compare it with other planets. And compare that with other galaxies. And you begin to see billions and billions and billions of galaxies of creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Uncountable. Then you come to this earth, if compared to others is very small, then you take your country, or you take your continent out of all the other continents of the world. Then you take your country, then you take your state, then you take your region, then you take your town, then you come to your house, then you come to your bed. You see you are just small, insignificant something there. And then you are arrogant. Haba. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beyond imagination of the human being. So for those that feel so arrogant not to serve and worship Allah, they are only doing it for themselves. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now is telling Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell them, these are the things that Allah prohibited. There are the prohibitions, just as we say. Obligations are there, prohibitions are there, and permissibles are there. So say to them, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ta'alaw atlu ma harrama rabbukum alaykum. Ay ta'alaw aqra'u ma harrama rabbukum alaykum. Come to me. Allah said to Rasul, invite them, those that were inventing lies against Allah, permitting things and then declaring certain things as lawful, coming up with desires and interests and whatever, invite them. Say to them, come. Come, atlu ma harrama rabbukum alaykum. I will recite to you what your Lord actually declared as prohibited. Let me tell you what Allah declared as prohibited. And then he started mentioning. Scholars of Islam said all these things that are going to be mentioned, that are called commandments, they are applicable in all religions, of Moses, of Jesus Christ, of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and of all. These 10 things that will be mentioned are prohibited in all Sharia. They are prohibited in all the laws that were revealed from the heavens. They were prohibited in all the Sharia that Allah Ta'ala sent. And what are those things? Allah tushriku bihi shay'a. Never should you associate partner with him. For he is one alone. Allah, he is one alone that deserves to be worshipped. All the Sharia of Islam prohibited associating partner to Allah. Moses never claimed to be God or object of worship. Jesus Christ never claimed to be God or object of worship. No prophet ever declared that he is God or object of worship. All of them declared, come and worship one God, Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So associating partner to Allah is something that has been prohibited in all religions. Judaism, Christianity, Islam, whatever is prohibited. If you see people associating partners to Allah, they have invented lies against the messengers that brought that particular religion. They never claim to be God or part of God. So Allah tushriku bihi shay'a. That is number what? Number one. We are going to count 10. You remember the issue of 10 commandments, isn't it? So we are going to count 10 that Allah mentioned here in the Quran. 10 that Allah Ta'ala declared as unlawful. 10. 1. Never associate partner with Allah. Consider everything, everybody as a servant and slave and creator created by Allah. So Allah is one alone. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahu as-samad. Allah on whom all depends. Everything depends on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So never associate partner with Allah. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. The next, who are those that you pass through them before you come to this dunya? Who are those that serve as means of bringing you to this dunya? They are your parents. So the next after Allah, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Be kind and good to your parents. Be kind and good to your parents. No religion on the surface of the earth revealed by Allah that allow a child to disobey his parents. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declared that obedience to parents is not related to the kind of way of life of the parents, whether they are Muslims or they are not Muslims, whether they are good or they are bad. Obedience to them as a child is compulsory. وَقَضَىٰ رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Your parents is compulsory, is binding on you to be good to them. You see, sometimes a student will just ask, Mala, my mommy is not treating me well, my mommy is doing this, my daddy is doing, so what? Obey them, be kind to them, be good to them, no matter what they do. It is through them you come to this dunya. Remember that. Someone came to Rasul and said, oh, the messenger of Allah, my father have taken away my money, some portion of my money. And Rasul said, Anta wa maluka, you and your wealth all belong to your father, to your father. If your father has not brought you to this dunya, will you even get the money? You won't. Obedience to parents is compulsory, is binding. And among the things that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned in the month of Ramadan, when he was climbing the member, he climbed the first stair, he said Amin. The second, he said Amin. The third, he said Amin. When he climbed the first stairs, he said Amin. The companions asked him and said, what do you mean by saying Amin? He said, angel appeared to me and said to me, whoever witnessed the old age of his parents and could not do what will earn him paradise through those parents, may he be taken farther away from paradise. There is no greater loser that will have the opportunity of seeing his parents at old age and then will allow that opportunity to slip away without him getting Jannah. Just like the same person that will witness Ramadan, out of the millions of people that are being forgiven every day, he will not be part of that. A great loser is that kind of person is. So parents, that is number 2. Then number 3, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَوْلَادَكُمْ مِنْ إِمْلَاقٍ. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَوْلَادَكُمْ. Never should you kill your children min imlaq, because of poverty. I mean faqarin. تَخَافُونَهُ, because of poverty you are scared of. Because you don't want to share your provision with others, therefore you kill that life. It goes beyond children alone. Some people today will say that the resources are not going to be enough for a particular community, so they have to exterminate and kill some other people so that they can enjoy the remaining resources. Allah said, don't do that because of fear of poverty. Do not kill your own children. So this is number 3. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, remember, if it is out of provision you are talking of, نَحَنُ نَرْزُقُكُمْ وَإِيَّاهُمْ. We are the one that provides for you and also for them. The provision comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If this provision has been left in the hands of the human being, some will not enjoy it. So, imagine if Nigeria government is the one to share the sunlight for people to enjoy the energy. Imagine if it is our government that should share the oxygen that we are taking and breathing in. Imagine my elder father here is just laughing. Because there are some people that they will say, no, this one are not my tribal men. This one, they are this and that. This one did not pay their own tax. This one did not do that. But you never pay your tax to Allah. You never worship Him, and He still give you. Your tax, you didn't pay to Allah. He still give you. You didn't serve Him. You didn't worship Him. But still give you. Because He is Rahman, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So never should you, out of fear of poverty, kill a life. You kill your children. You kill others because of fear of poverty. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الْفَوَاحِشَ. This is number what? Number 4. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الْفَوَاحِشَ مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ. Never should you come closer to immoralities, al-fawahish. Never should you come closer to immoralities like adultery or fornication. Never should you come closer to that. And today, in our world of today, you see what is happening. The so-called Declaration of Freedom for All is giving room for all kinds of immoralities to even be sanctioned by law. May Allah protect us in some communities of environment. Allah said, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الْفَوَاحِشَ مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ. Then number 5, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ. Never, in any way, should you go and kill an innocent soul, innocent life. Innocent life. Never should you go and kill a life without following justifiable cause of Allah's permission. You go and kill human beings. You go and kill life. One of the most difficult things you can come out of, if you do, is to kill a life. If you kill a life, you have entered into one very difficult sin that you can hardly come out of it. You kill one life. In fact, some scholars are saying if you kill one believer, you have to enter hellfire. Some said even if you repented. وَمَنْ قَتَلَ مُؤْمِنًا مُتَعَمِّدًا فَجَزَاؤُهُ جَهَنَّمْ. You kill a life, you will never get it easy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why Rasulullah mentioned, the first thing that you will be called to account after death is FUTMX. The first thing that Allah will tell account regarding how you relate with others is, have you ever shedded blood innocently? Have you ever done that? If you are found to be free in this respect, all other things will come easier. But if you are found wanting, being the cause or the reason for shedding a blood innocently, then you are in trouble. That's the beginning of your trouble in Akhirah. Just like the first thing you will be questioned and asked regarding obligation between you and Allah is as-salat. If your salat is sound and okay, all other things between you and Allah, Allah can waive it. The same thing regarding your rights between you and other creatures of Allah. If you have never killed a life, you have never sponsored killing a life, you have never partnered in killing a life, you have never created room for killing a life, all other things between you and Allah will be easier. But look at how the world has turned to. Look at what is happening in the world. Blood being shedded all around, innocent life. Some are even children. They never knew what is going on in the world. They will be killed. They will be massacred. They will be slaughtered. Not knowing the sin they have committed. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned the day of Al-Qiyamah, someone that will be killed innocently, not knowing, will hold and jack the person that killed him and say, Ya Rab, Saluhu lima qatali. He will jack him and say, Oh Allah, this person asked him, what have I done that he killed me? Ya, oh Allah, ask this person, what have I done that he killed me? Because I never did anything. I just find myself dead. And you are the one that gave me this life. Oh Allah, ask this person, he's the one that because of my death. Ask him, lima qatalani. And that is why a believer will have to be very, very conscious and alert regarding issues that will lead to the loss of life. Even jihad, and that is why there are rules, there are regulations, there are guidelines, there are so many things to ensure that the innocent is saved. To ensure that it's only the criminal that is being confronted, because if you are a criminal, then there are rules regarding how to confront your crime. But for the innocent, a child, a baby child, a woman, if you are going even for jihad, innocent pastors, innocent people that are worshiping God in their churches or synagogues that did not come out to participate in battle, even in the battlefield between Muslims and non-Muslims, they are not to be attacked because they are there retiring in their own. That's the true pastors that are dedicated only to their worship. If you dare kill that particular person, you have committed a crime. A woman that is not in the battlefield fighting, an innocent person just moving around. Remember to know that Islam, the jihad that is being fought by Islam, is not to go and kill anybody, everybody. And Rasul was one day coming back from outings that they went out for jihad with the Muslims. He came back, he now rested under a tree. He was resting under the tree. A disbeliever, an enemy, come and snatch sword. He snatched the sword of Rasul. He now take it open, and Rasul just wake up and saw the sword. He said, Man yamna uka minni, who will now save you? The Prophet looked at him and smiled and said, Allah. The confidence in Rasul, Allah. The sword from the hand of this person fell down. The Prophet picked it. And then said, okay, you, who will save you? He started begging. He started begging. Then the Prophet said, Atashhadu Allah, will you believe that Allah alone deserves to worship? Are you going to be a Muslim? He said, I will not be a Muslim. But I will not fight you, and I will not join hands with others to fight you. The Prophet said, then that's all. I mean, you need to deeply think about this. I will not fight you. I will not join hands with others to fight you. The Prophet left him. It means those that Islam are fighting or the Prophet is fighting belongs to either of these two. Either doing what? Fighting him, or doing what? Joining hands with others to fight him. As much as you were neither of this, Rasul left him. And that is why when this person went back to his people, he said, Kai, I've come back from somebody I've never seen the person in life. Somebody that I attempted killing. And then after he got his way, he asked me to follow him. I couldn't follow him. And then he left me. Kai, I have become a Muslim. So you see, Islam is not killing. When Rasulullah went to Ta'if, he went to Ta'if to invite people to Islam. They mobilized the hooligans. They mobilized all those particular. They started throwing pebbles, stones to Rasulullah. They shaded his blessed blood. When he was coming back, an angel came that this particular people of Ta'if, let them be destroyed completely. Rasul said, no, my focus, my target, my mission is that let there be an opportunity for even their grandchildren to become Muslims, if they cannot become. And what happened? Before Rasul left the dunya, all of them became Muslims. This is Islam. When Rasul sent At-Tufail bin Amir Dawsi to go to his people of Daws, to go and invite them to Islam, he went and invited them to Islam. They refused to accept Islam. Until when Rasul migrated from Mecca and reached Medina, he was sitting when this particular person, after long years, came to meet Rasul in Medina. He accepted Islam since Mecca, period. He came to Medina, he came with some few people that followed him. Together with him were Abu Huraira, radiallahu anhu. When he came and met Rasul, he said, oh, the messenger of Allah. He first asked, did you recognize me? So, yes, I recognize you. You are the one that came at so time regarding this. He said, oh, the messenger of Allah, my people, the people of those, are people that are strong-headed people. Ask Allah to destroy them. You know, energy, isn't it? Ask Allah to destroy them. I have been inviting them, but they refuse. Rasulullah started preparing for the prayers. Abu Huraira said, when I saw Rasul preparing for the prayers, I said, oh, the people of those are destroyed. The people of those are going to be destroyed. Rasul raised his hand and said, Allahumma hadi dawsan. Allahumma hadi dawsan. Oh Allah, guide the people of those. Oh Allah, guide the people of those. Not, oh Allah, destroy the people of those. When this person went back, before the next year, all of them became Muslims. Are we seeing what Islam is? Islam is not about killing. And that is why when you begin to talk about terrorists or terror, the greatest terrorists are the people that are creating all these weapons of mass destructions and killing innocent lives. Who initiated First World War? Who initiated Second World War? Whoever threw a nuclear destined to kill people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Whose hand is always there in shedding blood across the globe and the world? So you see, you can see from your own who are those that are shedding the life and the blood of innocent people across the globe. Islam has no hand. May Allah assist us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ. That is number what? 5. Are you not counting? That is number 5. ذَلِكُمْ وَصَّاكُمْ بِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. That is what Allah Ta'ala is admonishing you with. That is the admonition of Allah. That is the instruction of Allah. That is the will that Allah Ta'ala has left for you to take guard of, take care. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. Perchance you can use your senses of reason to appreciate the teachings of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, to appreciate the wisdom behind the instructions of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Then Allah continued, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا مَالَ الْيَتِيمِ.
ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن حتى يبلغ أشده وأوفوا الكيل والميزان بالقسط لا نكلف نفسا إلا وسعها وإذا قلتم فاعدلوا ولو كان ذا قربى وبعهد الله أوفوا ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تذكرون.
After Allah mentioned 5 out of this very important and key commandments, and then declared that you need to put your sense of reasoning لعلكم تعقلون, and see the reason behind all these instructions and prohibitions and commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah continued. For number 6, he said, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا مَالَ الْيَتِيمِ إِلَّا بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. Never should you come closer to the wealth of an orphan. Al-yatim is someone who lost support. Now he doesn't have parents. He doesn't have someone to rely on. He is weak. Therefore, never should you come closer to the wealth of someone who is weak, who needs support. Instead of you to support him, you now come and use that as opportunity for you to now go and take away his wealth. Never should you do that. And that is why consuming the wealth of an orphan is one of the major sins as far as Islam is concerned. When you talk about yatama, orphans, scholars mention sometimes you see yatama, orphans sometimes are also related to, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about yatama, male, and then he say women also. I mean, showing that orphanhood means being weak and unable to take care of what belongs to you. You will help you. You can't manage your own resources. Someone should not take advantage of that. Someone should not take advantage because someone lost his father or his parents and now he has wealth or resources. He doesn't even know the wealth or resources, you cannot manage it. Then you now use that opportunity and then you enrich yourself. Never should you do that. You can extend it to all other kinds of situation you find yourself. You see someone maybe out of foolishness, maybe he doesn't recognize the best way to manage his resources. You now use his ignorance and manipulate that, and then come in and steal his resources, and then come in and deceive him, and then come in and take all what belongs to him, and then make it your own. Allah Ta'ala said, never should you come closer to the wealth of an orphan. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا مَالَ الْيَتِيمِ إِلَّا بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. Except through that is good. الَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. means you come in order to improve the wealth. You come in order to improve the wealth. Maybe you want to invest it for him. Or maybe you want to make it in a way and manner that the wealth will be beneficial to him later in his own life. Investment or taking care of the wealth, not destroying that particular wealth. إِلَّا بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ حَتَّى يَبْلُغَ أَشُدَّهُ Until when he reach his full strength, meaning the orphan now has reached full strength that he can take care of his own wealth, then you now hand over his wealth to him. And that's why custody in Islam, you take care of those particular weak children that have been left with you. You are to take care of their resources and property until when they are now able to take care of it by themselves. In fact, scholars of Islam say, if orphans are left to you, for you to take care of their wealth and resources, and then you allow them to squander the resources, you will be held responsible. Because you are supposed to be their guardian. Not to allow the resources to be squandered. They don't know what to do with the wealth. And they will begin to give them anyhow. You begin to spend, the Sharia will call you to account for that. You are supposed to be a guardian. Because in Islam, guardianship is key and important in anything. If you come and meet people, in fact, scholars, not a team that is not yet an adult. Even an adult, if he is Safi, there are adults that are fools. What do you call them? I mean, that cannot reason well. You realize that he is somebody that cannot manage, then that kind of person he still needs a guardian. And you don't allow him to go and misuse his wealth. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Hatta yabluga ashudda. That is number 6. Then number 7, wa awful kayla wal mizana bil qism. Make sure in your businesses transactions, make sure if you are dealing with people, wa awful kayla wal mizan, give full measure as well as scale. Never should you give a scale or measurement that behind it you are deceiving the person. Give full measurement, full measure, full scale. Bil qism, with justice. Allah said, La nukallifu nafsan illa wus'aha. But we will not overburden a soul except within its ability. Meaning in judgment, especially in measurement, isn't it? You may not be able to give perfect measurement, isn't it? There could be 1 or 2 slight 0 point something. Allah will not hold you responsible for that. You have done your best. So anything that Allah asks you to do, you do your best. Allah will not hold you responsible for those things you are unable to. So all that matters, do your best in executing this. وَأَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ وَالْمِيزَانَ بِالْقِسْطِ وَلَا نُكَلِّفُ نَفْسًا إِلَّا وُسْعَهَا وَإِذَا قُلْتُمْ فَعْدِلُوا وَإِذَا قُلْتُمْ فَعْدِلُوا. Whenever you want to say something, be just. Be just in your statement. Be truthful in your statement. Be honest in your statement. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَوْ كَانَ ذَا قُرْبَى. Even if what you are going to say will go against your close relation, or even if what you are going to say is going to be something that will not favor your close relation, be just, be truthful, and be straightforward. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَبِعَهَدِ اللَّهِ أَوْفُوا. Regarding promises that you have taken between you and Allah, promises, fulfill those particular promises. A Muslim is not someone who a sort of break promise. A Muslim is not someone who is unjust in his dealing. A Muslim is not someone who is a betrayer in the way and manner he conducts himself. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ذَلِكُمْ وَصَّاكُمْ بِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this is an instruction that Allah ta'ala is instructing you, is commanding you with, perchance, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ أَيْ فَتُطِيعُونَ أَوَامِرَ اللَّهِ subhanahu wa ta'ala. Perchance you can be recalling the instructions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that you can keep on the track and you never deviate. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, now,
وَأَنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطِي مُسْتَقِيمًا فَاتَّبِعُوهُ وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا السُّبُلَ فَتَفَرَّقَ بِكُمْ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ ذَلِكُمْ وَصَّاكُمْ بِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ.
We have mentioned 9 among the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطِي مُسْتَقِيمًا وَأَنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطِي مُسْتَقِيمًا. This is my straight path, straight way that will lead you to Jannah. This is the straight way that when we are praying our salawat, we said, Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. Allah guide us to remain on this path, sirat al-mustaqim. Someone will say, you always say, guide us, guide us. It means you are not yet guided. He said, no. The guidance is a continuous process in life. It's a continuous process. As you are on the straight path, oh Allah, guide us as we progress, guide us as we move, guide us as we in life. At every point, we need the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And sirat al-mustaqima, the guidance should be in the straight path. Straight. What does mathematicians say about straight line? Straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points. The shortest distance between 2 points. Any other distance away from being shortest is a crooked way, isn't it? So sirat al-mustaqima, straight to Jannah. No crooked ways, and it's not a long way. This is sirat al-mustaqima. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, wa anna hadha sirati. This is my path. This is my way. Mustaqima wadihan la iwaja fihi. A very clear path. There is no crookedness in this particular path. What are you going to do? The instruction number 10, fattabi'u. Follow this path. Build your life on this. Make sure your life is guided by this. Wala tattabi'u subula. Never should you follow other small paths, deviations, diversions. If you follow all these deviations and diversions, then fatafarraqa bikum an sabili. It will take you far away from that path. Allah Ta'ala says, ذَلِكُمْ وَصَّاكُمْ بِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. This is the admonition and the commands and the instructions and the guidance of Allah to you. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you can live your life on piety and fear of Allah. Why do we fast? كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ وَأَنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطِي مُسْتَقِيمًا فَاتَّبِعُوهُ وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا السُّبُلَ فَتَفَرَّقَ بِكُمْ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ ذَلِكُمْ وَصَّاكُمْ بِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. At-taqwa, meaning to be alert and conscious to your responsibility, so that you will not be diverted away and then to invite the wrath and the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is, as said earlier, a command that shows the comprehensive system of Islam. Let me say some few things before time, if time permits. I want to mention 24 things in our 24 hours of the day that this give us the comprehensive picture of Islam. As I said earlier, there are obligations and prohibitions and permissibles. Do you get that? This is how the life of the Muslim revolves around obligations and then prohibitions and then permissibles. What are the obligations? What are the prohibitions? And what are the permissibles? And by Allah's decree, the permissible is more than any number. Virtually, the default is that everything, as much as you need that particular thing for your life, everything is permissible. That's the default. Except what has been declared as prohibited. So in this, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said in one hadith, while talking about this, he said, Inna Allah farada fara'ida, fala tudayyi'uha. In life, as Muslims, remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have commanded some obligations. Fara'id. Fala tudayyi'uha, do not neglect them. All those things that Allah declared, do not neglect them. Wa hadda hududan, fala ta'ataduha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have declared limits, have put limits. Do not cross those limits. And then, وَحَرَّمَ أَشْيَاءَ فَلَا تَنْتَهِكُوهَا. He has prohibited certain things. Never should you go and jump into those prohibitions. وَسَكَتَ عَنْ أَشْيَاءَ. And so many things, Allah was silent. Allah never said anything about so many things in your life. This particular thing, rahmatan lakum ghayra nisyan. It's not that Allah has forgotten. It's rahmah so that you can enjoy a lot of bounties of Allah. Not that He has forgotten. And that is why He said, do not go too much into things that are not too clear, and you begin to dig deep to make life difficult for yourself. So among these, the obligations, the prohibitions, the permissibles, to be a Muslim, you are alive in 24 hours. Look at these 24 things. First, the 6 plus 6. that makes you to be a Muslim. The 6 plus 6 that makes you to be a Muslim. What are those 6 plus 6? One, remember the hadith of Jibril we always used to mention. When an angel came to Rasul and asked him about Islam. Akhbirni an al-Islam. Tell me about Islam. He mentioned 5 pillars of Islam, isn't it? So to be a Muslim, the first thing in your life, look at these 5 things. 1, shahadatu Allah ilaha illallah. None deserve to be worshipped other than Allah. Declare that. And that's why if you want to be a Muslim, the first thing we ask you, declare the kalimatu shahada. Then after that, establish the salat, which is 5 times in a day. And then after that, if you have the means, give the zakat, a portion of your wealth to show care and concern to the less privileged. After that, fasting once in a year, 1 month in a year, Ramadan. After that, if you have the means, go for Hajj. How many? 5. Then this is compulsory, it's an obligation, it's compulsory. Then the 6 articles of faith. When Jibril asked him, Akhbirni an al-Iman, tell me about Iman. He said, An tu'mina billah, wa malaikatihi, wa kutubihi, wa rusulihi, wa liyawmil akhir, wa tu'mina bil qadri, khayrihi, wa sharrihi. Believe in Allah, be comfortable with Allah. Believe gives you comfort and acceptance. You accept Allah. You are okay with Allah. Believe in Allah. Attach yourself to Allah. Al-imanu billah. Then, wa malaikatihi, wa kutubihi, wa rusulihi. Believe Allah has special creatures that He created that are not human beings. They carry out the instructions of Allah. They keep records of your deeds. They do all this, they do all that. Believe in them. And then believe in the books that Allah sent. All the messengers that Allah sent, believe in all the books. Quran is muhaiminan. Quran is the one that now confirms the truth of what is in this particular book, and then also confirm the additions that have been made to those particular books. Believe in these things. Believe in all the messengers and the prophets. Adam, Noah, Ibrahim, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad. All of them, believe in them. And then Yawm al-Akhir. Believe that there is another life after this dunya. That you will be called to account for your deeds. If good, you get the reward of good. If bad, the consequences are there waiting. And then believe in the decree of Allah. A Muslim should not be a complainer, always complaining. Believe that you do your best, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declare the final in the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Believe in that. How many now? 6. 6 plus 5 make what? Remain what? 1. And that is perfection in your worship, al-ihsan. If you want to worship Allah, worship Him as if you are seeing Him. No deception. Al-ihsan an ta'budallaha ka'annaka tarahu. Fa in lam takun tarahu, fa innahu yarak. If you hold on to this, you have hold on to the compulsory obligations of Islam. Then the 12 prohibitions, they were mentioned in Kaba'ir al-Ism. Akbar al-Kaba'ir. Major sins. And those particular sins, number 1, ash-shirku billah. Avoid associating partner to Allah. And Rasulullah was once telling the Sahaba, shouldn't I tell you, Akbar al-Kaba'ir, major sins. Avoid associating partner with Allah in any way. Another thing, qatlun nafs allati harrama Allah illa bil haqq. Do not kill an innocent life. It's a prohibition. Do not kill a life. Another one, do not disobey your parents. Uquq al-walidain is one of the kaba'ir. Do not disobey your parents. Another prohibition, do not come to zina al-fawahish. Never should you be a fornicator or an adulterer. Never should you fornicate. Never should you go and satisfy your lusts through any means. Is it fornication? Is it whatever? Adultery? Is it lesbianism and whatever? All this haram. Then the next is what? Shahadatu zur. That is number 5. Is it number 5? Shahadatu zur. Never should you give false witness. Never should you give false witness. And then the next is yaminul ghamus. Avoid false swearing. You take an oath in order to justify the wealth of some other people, in order to deceive some other people. You know it is lie. You swear, but you know you are swearing in order to deceive people to go and commit evil. Yaminul ghamus. Avoid that one. And then number 7, avoid riba. Riba, aklu riba. Usury. Avoid that completely. Then the next number 8, aklu mal al yatim. Do not consume the wealth of an orphan. Do not go and seize the opportunity of the weakness of the orphan and then consume his own wealth, just as mentioned. Then number 9, you have to at-tawalla yawm al-zahab. When the Muslims are protecting their community, protecting their ummah, fighting for Islam, you run away and expose the Muslim to death. You must never do that. Stand by your people. Come rain, come shine. Stand with your people, fight with your people, be together with your people. Do not run away and allow your people to be destroyed. And then the next, qazful muhsanat al-ghafilat. Do not go and tell lies against a woman that is innocent, because you will destroy family. By the time you begin to cast doubts in the life of good people, about the life of good people into the mind of others, you destroy society. And that is why the issue of going to say, this one have committed this one have committed this, you destroy reputation of people, you destroy the community. Qazful muhsanat al-ghafilat. Then number 11, you have to avoid shurbul khamr, intoxicants. Anything that destroy the intellect, be it alcohol, be it drugs, be it whatever intoxicants, avoid that. Then number 11, as-sihr. As-sihr, that is sorcery, isn't it? As-sihr, avoid that. These are the 12 deadly sins. Those are the 12 major obligations. And this make 24 things, that 24 points that you can guide your life along this way. And then the other things, the permissibles, I said there are so many. But in between, there are shubuhats. The Rasul said, Inna al-halala bayyinun, al-halalu bayyinun, al-haramu bayyinun. Wa baynahuma umurun mushtabihat. The halal is very clear, the haram is very clear. In between, there are confusing things. Do not be so much too distant about the confusing things. If you are not clear, try to just shun it. But that does not mean it is prohibited. It's because it's not clear to you. So the halal, the permissible, is much more than the prohibition. Because of time, as I said, if you look at the comprehensive nature of Islam, you look at the permissibles are so many. There are so many. Then within the obligations, those compulsory 12, then there are also minor instructions that are encouragement. Do nawafil, give sadaqah, assist others, do this. It complements and add more to these compulsory ones that makes you to be a Muslim. If you are found wanting in this 12, then any other thing you are adding it, but will not make much value to you after death. And I pray Allah Ta'ala assist us. Then in these prohibitions, the major sins, they are not the only prohibitions. There are also smaller prohibitions. There are prohibitions that Allah Ta'ala can wipe away or overlook. And then the permissibles, one will be careful with the permissibles also, because the devil can come in, but you are not to declare it as haram. Inshallah, we'll stop here. I'm seeing time. If we come one time, we'll discuss, you see, the comprehensive nature of Islam. That's why if you enter Islam, you said, Udkhulu fi silmi kafatan. Your life should be guided by this. Islam is not too difficult. Islam is straightforward, but Islam is a system. By the time you come into this system, you follow all this, you get your life easy and smooth. And then you enjoy your dunya, and also you enjoy your akhirah. I pray Allah Ta'ala guide us, bless us, and accept our good deeds, and forgive us our shortcomings. Inshallah, we're going to stop here. We have exhausted the entire time. We will respond to questions bi-idhnillah karim tomorrow. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, we have come to the end of today. We have gone exactly to the time, and we need to skip to our time. Tomorrow we'll leave time so that we answer questions. I received some questions yesterday, but I forgot the papers at home. I didn't see them. I will collect that today, and inshallah we'll respond to all tomorrow if Allah Ta'ala spares our life. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وآل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا مريدا إلا شفيته ولا ميتا إلا رحمته ولا مبتلا إلا عافيته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة إلا قضيتها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا أتم لنا نورنا واغفر لنا إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم ربنا تقبل صيامنا وقيامنا وركوعنا وسجودنا واجعلنا من عبادك الراشدين برحمتك يا رب العالمين. فسبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.